ladies and gentlemen. How are you all today? Welcome to this game, which is Donkey Kong 94 for the Game Boy, and we have a run today of all items, and we have some fantastic runners today. You all met Ludwig before when he was doing his KBB run. Say hi, Ludwig.
Hello everybody, good to see you again so soon.
And of course, we do have pto1 here, which is currently the what should we call it? The Donkey Kong 94 Grand Slam champion. He's got like the world record in
Oh
everything.
yeah.
Say hi, PTO.
Thank you, thank you.
And so I believe we are all set and good to go. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm good to go.
All right. Oh, and by the way, I am Null Sprite. In case you didn't know, I'll be doing commentary for this run today. It sounds like levels are way off, so I don't know if we should wait or if we should just go. So we'll wait a little bit for clarification. Anyhow, so this run is going to be like the first time I believe we've ever had a race of this game, and also the first time I think we've ever had the all items category in the marathon, so that's going to be super cool. Alright, so, are you ready to go, gentlemen?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Excellent. So that begins, we will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, my friend.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you've ever played any Donkey Kong game that's like arcade oriented, this is going to look very familiar. We do have some new tricks though. You will see us, or you will see PTO and Ludwig backflipping and triple jumping and doing a lot of crazy stuff to climb all the stages. And this game actually came out in 1994, so this game got backflips and side flips and triple jumps before SM64 did. So, sorry SM64, you were kind of late.
I already messed up, sorry.
Oh no, he forgot the one up. Okay, so Ludwig has to restart now because he messed it up.
I'm not even surprised, by the way.
So, as you might guess, you have to get all the items here. And that includes 1-ups and purses, parasols, and hats. And this game has a lot of items. There are hats everywhere. So usually in the stage you will have to collect 4 items, and some stages have 3. And if you mess up, you have to go back and get it again. So PTO has a little bit of lead time here now. And it looks like we are pretty much on pace, well, except for Ludwig, of course. But, you know.
It's no problem, I can catch up.
Late game,
And
late
so
game.
now you will see what the game is really about here: getting the key and getting to the door after collecting all the items. And that is going to be the main part of the game. This game is really long too. Actually, it's 101 stages all in all. So it's a long game. It's about I think we have like a minute 35 is the estimate for this game, because so many things can go wrong with this game. Looks like Ludwig is now finishing up his second attempt at getting this game started.
Yep.
There we go. Very nice.
I also want to say the sentence one time that never happened before in the run. That I missed
Never
this
happened.
particular one.
But can you say it and mean it though? That's the big thing here.
That never happened before.
That never happened before. Trademark. And so, one thing you will see PTO do here is he's going to wait a little bit before going to the door. The reason for this is that every time you collect all the items, you get a bonus stage, lucky you, and then you get a lot of 1-ups if you're lucky or unlucky. But there are 2 bonuses you can get. One is really slow and one is not. And so the guys will be waiting until the timer ends with an odd digit before they actually go to the door. And that way they save a lot of time in the long run.
Oh man.
Oh, he fell down. Okay. So it looks like Ludwig is actually catching up nicely. You gotta hurry, Vito.
I don't want to hear this.
Yeah, I did a little bit of like timer manipulation in O-4 to gain the 139 here.
Oh yeah, that's wise.
But you can say explain how the timer works, maybe.
Yeah,
That will
so
explain.
actually this game has two timers. There's the timer you see on the screen, and then there's a sub-timer, which just basically counts down 1000 milliseconds. So the in-game timer then is very inconsistent in terms of keeping actual time. So if you end the stage right before the second is about to tick down, then the second will immediately tick down on the timer when you begin the next stage. So you can do some timer manip to make things go faster as well. And of course, at the end of every stage, the timer actually has to tick down, so you can manipulate for that too.
Oh,
What pto is trying to do here, there we go, is oh no. You are not supposed to do wall jumps in this game, but you will see the guys doing them a lot because we know how. It works about the same as you would in, say, Super Mario World, where you actually don't jump off the wall itself, but rather the seam between two tiles. And so we have some ways of getting that to work consistently. And pto here, by the way, shoutouts, is pretty much found the most consistent way of getting them with a handspring jump.
although I did a poor job of showing it on 1-4.
Ooh, well,
Me too, by the way, me too.
Hey, there we go. So, as you might guess, there is a lot of things that can go wrong with this game. It's not a question of if you're going to die, but when you're going to die in this game. Deathless runs are extremely rare. I think I have like 5,000 attempts in one deathless run, all in all. So, yeah. If you get a deathless run,
I have one. I have
pretty
exactly
swag.
one.
Exactly one. Wow. And so, what you saw in the cutscene here is every cutscene the game shows you a little bit of what's to come. And so now we are getting getting to build some platforms and some ladders, and you can do some interesting stuff with it. We will show you as we progress through the game. And most of the time, you get some good advice in the cutscenes, except one, and I will tell you when that is. One other thing you will see, especially when it comes to these stages where we have to build a lot, it actually takes a good long time to build these platforms and ladders. It wastes a lot of seconds, so the idea is to build as fast as you possibly can, because that will save you anywhere from like half a minute to more if you do it well. And one thing you might notice too is that if you look at the bottom of the slot machine, you can tell that there's like a combination of things you can get that says just a question mark up. And that's the jackpot. If you get DK space, Mario space, and a hat, this exact combination of items is incredibly important for some reason, and then you get a lot of one-ups. I think the most I've had is 8, but I hear you can get 10.
You can get anything between 1 and 10, this is completely random.
Perfect. Okay, so there is a good chance you can get 10 up if you are really good or really bad, depending on your...
It's not RNG based though, it's based off the timer again or whatever.
Yeah.
But they have a creepy value in this game.
Yeah, and you can tell we don't need any more lives than we already have. We're already at 25.
Yeah, I know. If you need 99 lives to finish this speedrun, there's something very wrong with your category. Also, one thing to note, shoutouts to our good friend Nadico, by the way, who pointed this out yesterday, that pto likes to experiment with his color schemes. So now you can decide if you like Ludwig's scheme where Mario is a little bit sunburned, or you can decide if you like the color scheme where everything looks like it's going on in the 7th circle of hell. On PTO.
But you can already tell PTOs has to be the best for running. It's just the world record scheme. He just gets
that is true.
I went tame today. I was tame today.
But now we're actually going to see some interesting things. So you will see the runners resetting after they finish a warp. There are two reasons for this. The first one is that you skip sort of like a transition between one weapon and the next, and that saves about 1.5 seconds every time you do it. But that comes with an interesting side effect, that you can actually control the RNG a bit more. The RNG in this game is what we call on wheels. So every time something accesses the RNG, it also changes it. So we don't really have any way of controlling the RNG except for resetting and just like setting it back to its original state. So you will see a lot of resets here just to get some good RNG for the game. And if you look on Ludwig's screen now, here comes the first instance of a really interesting glitch, which is called a double tumble glitch. So if you backflip grab the key, a lot of interesting things happen in the game, where if you tumble after backflip grabbing something, the item sort of just like freaks out and it gets stuck in midair. So you'll see him backflip grab and then tumble once, tumble twice. Now the key is stuck in midair, but Mario actually still has the key somehow in memory, so he can just go up to the door and, you know, leave the stage even though he doesn't have the key, but he still has the key. We have no idea why this works, but it works, so we use it all the time. I still don't feel as if we have a good explanation for the double tumble glitch.
We
That's,
don't have good
to work on.
explanations for anything.
No, that's true. This game is very interesting in that manner. And then a lot of these stages are going to look very interesting as we go on, because we have to get all the items, and some of these items are pretty much everywhere on the map. So there's going to be a lot of optimized movements going on in this category. What is that RNG video?
It was normal RNG. I just panicked.
Okay, you panicked. Well, that happens a lot. PTO is right now slightly ahead, but it's very close. As you can see, Ludwig is just one stage behind. And in the late game of this game, you can lose easily a minute or so just by dying to something stupid.
Almost got the jackpot there.
Oh.
Good thing, right? The jackpot. You got.
Yeah, the jackpot is great. You got. That's the only thing the game really tells you. That's the only message you get. Is like, you got. With 2 exclamation marks. It's really important that you got. And sort of like another thing we can talk about too is there's a lot of tricks and jumps you will see used, and they are good for different things. So if you have a handspring jump, that will take you across horizontally very fast, and backflips are probably the best way to get up vertically very fast. And you can do a lot of cool things with backflips too. A lot of interesting little tricks and glitches especially. Let's see. Ooh, very good video. So there are a lot of time-intensive tricks that are basically like almost frame perfect.
So far, this forest is. I'm just looking at where I'm gonna blow it.
Now 2-6 is the most dreaded for me right now. Like when you miss that ladybug, you lose 10 seconds.
Yeah, the ladybug jump is very tough. It's just one of these stupid things that you lose easily like 10 seconds to for no good reason. And you're really supposed in 2-7, which PTO is playing now.
And I
You're
missed it, of
supposed
course.
to. Aw, you missed it. It's too bad. Well, 10 seconds to catch your breath. So in 2-7, which Ludwig is about to enter, you will see that you're really supposed to let the bugs out, and you're supposed to let them sort of run around and do their thing. But this is a speedrun, so we're not going to be doing any of that. Because, well, it's a speedrunner who likes bugs anyway. Don't softlock, PTO.
And I was
Ooh,
so
very
scared.
close. So in the boss that PTO is playing, you can soft lock, because if you look at the ladders and you look at Pauline, it's all a scam. Pauline is not real. She is just like basically solid blocks you can interact with and do things with. And she meows occasionally, that's what she does. But if you try to jump into her, then, you know, you get ejected up and you can't finish the stage. It's quite terrible. I think I said something about this last year, that Pauline is basically just like a couple of blocks you can go through. Which is still true, by the way.
Dude. Third time I almost got this. I almost got this. Oh, I'm late here. Uh-oh.
And for
I
those of
didn't
you,
move
for those of you commenting on, ooh, that was close, but good. For those of you commenting on PTO's color scheme, might be even close to being the worst he's ever had.
Yeah, this is the best I've ever had.
No.
This is
No.
actually,
I have to disagree.
yeah.
There were actually worse patterns, believe me. Just go to his channel, browse through his videos. There's some interesting things.
But I have to say though, one interesting thing is that you can actually play this with real colors if you play this on SGB. It becomes really slow, yes, but that's apparently how they intended for the colors to actually look. So if you are curious as to that, then go play this on SGB.
Yeah, it's too bad it is slower because it looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, it doesn't sound nicer though. The only really sound effect you get is they change the meowing. Ludwig, what are you doing?
Don't even ask.
Okay, right.
It's just
They changed the
regular things
meowing
that I
into
do.
this little help thing. They had fun with it. Forest is surprising too, because it's very tough compared to, like, this should be the beginning of the game, this should be very easy. But the three first worlds, with construction site, big city and forest, is actually some of the most reset intensive in this entire game, because it's so easy to mess up. PTO about finishing the boss here now.
Got the glitch.
And then we like to name the strats for things too. So you're about to see Ludwig do 7 backflips. That's what we call the strat, because it's you do 7 backflips.
I hope so.
Million back.
At least.
Yeah, let's see. You can do it. 2. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. And those quick backflips are super tough to get. If you try to speedrun this and you think, oh, well, this is actually quite easy, and then you have to do backflips.
Flips.
Yeah,
You're
that's
not really
true.
backflipping, you have to like hold forward immediately after that.
Extra button.
Yeah.
Extra little button press. And that's really tough if you miss it too, which you do, and then you die, and everything is terrible. And so here we have ship. I don't know why they call this ship, but this is ship that PTO has just entered. And ship is generally quite safe from a speedrun perspective. But there are some things that can go wrong, and when they do, they cost you time. And Ludwig is just about finishing up too. It's just really close so far in terms of a race. And you can mess up by like, you can be like 3 minutes behind and still win in a race. Like, no problem. That's happened a lot of times.
Yeah, especially there are a few stages where you miss an item and go into the door with the key before getting the items. And you actually have to repeat multiple stages over, like I did here in the second stage.
Yeah. If you miss something, then it's... I guess we can talk a little bit more about RNG, because we are starting to get into the parts of the game where RNG is more. And so if you see the crabs on the screen where PTO is playing right now, those crabs actually change the RNG like 3 or 4 times every time they move, because they have to figure out where where they're supposed to go. And so if you are even just like a little bit slower than normal, then the RNG will not be the same as yours.
Oh, missed jump input.
Oh, dang. The crab got him.
I have a little crab RNG update for you because I messed around with it yesterday actually after my poor run.
Oh yeah?
The crabs change RNG one time they start moving and one time they stop moving. I guess this is because they have a different amount of time they can go to sleep and a different amount of time they have a different amount of pixels they can travel.
Huh. Well, that's interesting then, because I've seen them change the RNG before, but that might also depend on if they like bump into a wall or something. I don't know. There are so many things we don't know, but that's cool.
However, the snapshots that we are going to see in World 4, they are RNG fiends. They change RNG like 10 times per second. And
The snapshots are terrible, and the worst thing is you can't really tell if it's going to be one thing or the other, especially in 4-1. We're gonna talk about that when we get there. So what we do here is we just count like the number of ticks to the RNG that we get in order to keep track of it. So we don't really know what the RNG is, but we know how many times it's been changed, and that will always be the same from like game to game.
Good RNG.
Nice. So PTO had 1 death. So now deathless is out of the question. So that takes some of the pressure off.
I
So
actually
in
died.
this stage, I actually do not get the good one, but I can still make the cycle. That's what the video has found out.
Oh, you can still
Yes,
make
okay,
the cycle.
got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got it.
that's a cool strat.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good. So now we're starting to see, just because PTO had that one little death, Ludwig is now actually catching up to him. They're almost on the same stage now, and that's just goes to show you that this game is very volatile in terms of how your run is going to be, because even the slightest little error will mess you up. Because you don't have any power-ups, there is no like invincibility or anything you can do to avoid damage. It's just like small Mario only all the way.
I'm going for the hop here.
Going for the hop. Let's see.
Okay.
A 126 hop.
Oh, very nice.
That was actually pretty close, but
There are a lot of, interestingly enough, a lot of really, it looks like it's going to be super close, but as long as you hit like the first jump and hit the timing for it, then everything is usually fine.
it looks like the term super close has been invented just for this game.
Yep. Oof, that was a close jump video. Holy crap. And here's another thing that you will see PTO do is, or not, but one thing you can do is if you grab the key and fall,
I messed
you will
up.
basically just like click through all the hitboxes of enemies, and so you can abuse the key a little bit. Also, if you stand behind the key, that'll work too. I'm sort of impressed with the no jackpots yet, guys. That's interesting.
I
Oh.
didn't get the clip to the flame.
Don't worry, I've
Oh,
never
no.
done a race without getting the jackpot.
It's only 2 seconds lost here.
But have we gotten the Wheel of Fortune yet? Bonus game.
Now that's interesting too. I feel like there should be like a lot of donation incentives for this game. So we have some things to do here.
Wheel of Fortune %.
Wheel of Fortune %, that's right. Again, I don't know who Vandermark is. So just finishing up ship, as you can tell, as long as you play this well, everything is usually fine. But after ship comes jungle. And jungle is pretty notoriously known as like the first part of the game where your runs go to die. There's a lot of things that can go wrong there. A lot of things that you can mess up very easily. So we'll see how that goes. Jungle is always very interesting like that.
Try to manipulate RNG here to get the good direction on this guy. Hopefully
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, okay.
He's gonna go right, I think.
He's
No, very good.
he's next level. I just guessed and prayed.
We still don't exactly know how some mechanics, especially for these. And also, by the way, in case you were wondering, these guys with shields are actually one of the few enemies in the game that has an English name. They are called Sir Shovelot. And I think that is freaking awesome. Sir Shovelot is my favorite enemy name ever. PTO finishing up ship right now. One death, but still good. Still good.
I think it's my second one actually.
Super fast cycle here. I expected, no, not super fast, but the first throw was super fast at least. And
Yeah, RNG will also change because Donkey Kong can throw those barrels at 2 speeds. He can be slow or fast. And if you get 2 fast ones in this boss, you have to be extremely fast getting up there and doing the climb. Even messing up a little bit will make it tough.
I was pretty happy I got fast.
Yeah.
At 183.
And what you saw here, if you paid attention to PTO's screen, is that he waited a little bit after resetting for the what's it called? The wall to break down, like the cutscene in the beginning, the animation. The reason for this is RNG mode. So you will hear us talk about getting first seed and last seed. If you match start as soon as the game resets, you get the first seed. But then, because of the animation, the RNG changes 53 times, because it has to figure out where the bricks are going. And if you press start after that, that's the last seed.
Ah. Okay, that would break the RNG for this stage for me.
Ah, that's too bad. So both of you actually
something
missed that
like
jump. I am not impressed.
Yeah, that jump is actually not that hard, but you know, of course I missed that.
Yeah, you have to jump off just as you're falling off the edge. It's
I have to
very
wait here
hard.
for the snapshot to disappear. I found out something interesting, by the way, yesterday.
Okay.
Like, as you can see, like the snapjaw can go up. The 3 different vines there, but the vine in the middle, which is a little bit shorter, as soon as the snapjaw goes on this particular vine, it's impossible for him to get off. Because he cannot like reach the ground or something.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
that's
if this
interesting.
is like an oversight or if it's intended, I don't know.
Because that rope actually doesn't connect with anything on the bottom there.
And also
Oh,
interesting, as soon as he is stuck up there, he won't change RNG anymore.
Yeah, no, because it has nowhere to go, so that makes
Yep.
sense. One thing you saw, I'm not sure if Lupix can do it, but one thing you saw PTO do here is what we call an extendo. If you do a handspring jump onto and off of a spring, you can gain some extra height, like 1 tile of extra height. So that'll take you places you are not meant to go. Like on top there with the monkeys.
Oh, this is bad.
Yeah, so we now get to say hello to our good friend RNG Monkey or Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah, this 4-4 is the stage. That was the reason I looked into RNG yesterday. Because I get this every time when I'm on a good pace. Like, now I died, but doesn't really matter. But
RNG Monkey likes to mess up your runs, that's for sure.
if I'm on a good pace, I just wait 2 additional seconds on 4-3 to make good RNG appear here.
Yeah, because of the crab, probably.
Yeah, the crab can change it 2 times more, and then you're on a good RNG.
Yeah. It's quite hard to guess too, because like you said, the snapjaws in 1-1 change the RNG a lot. And so if you are a little bit slow or a little bit fast, you can actually end up with like the completely wrong RNG for this stage.
Also, we don't want to talk bad about like DK Jr., but in this game he is absolutely exact.
He's terrible.
Insert random insult there.
Insert insult, yes. By the way, guys, this run may or may not include passive-aggressive commentary about monkeys, just letting you know right now. But what's interesting too is that Donkey Kong Jr., even though he is just purely RNG control, it still seems like he's just doing it to mess with you. Like, he knows. You can always tell if you're gonna have a good or bad run just by looking at what the RNG monkey does in front dashboard. But we will see him later, and maybe we will do some interesting tricks with it. I'm not sure if you guys will go for that, we'll see. And one thing too that we haven't really talked about, but I always like to say, is that every speedrunner of this game has like their own little tweaks to the strats, and do the strats in like different ways. So nobody will ever run the game the same way as it is now, and that's kind of interesting too, because we've, you know, part of it is muscle memory, part of it is, well, this works for me, so I'll just do this, even though I know there are faster strats. So you can see that Ludwig actually plays 2 blocks there to get up more easily.
Yeah, I didn't figure out yet how to do it before.
One
Just
block for
cannot
life.
Yeah, 1 block is
I always get stuck on the vines up there, so I decided to just not go for it anymore.
And there you can see what happens on PTO's screen is RNG Monk just danced around, and now he has to wait.
Or I have a backup strat.
Hey, he
Screwed me
danced
again.
around again! Yay, RNG Monkey! So we'll do the double tumble here, and that'll be fine.
I knew he was gonna do that. I should have just started with it.
Yeah, RNG Monkey is an asshole. Can you say it on the stream? I just did.
I think we're gonna get shut down in 3, 2, 1. Shut
We are
down for maintenance, guys.
We are actually coming up on one of the bigger tricks to learn if you are a new speedrunner in 4-9, which is spike jump. And that is a pixel perfect jump across a gap of spikes. And you have to do a handspring jump. If you are even in the little tiny teensiest bit off, you will die. And if you don't, I don't know how much you save, like compared to doing the normal strat, but it's a lot.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
I
And then
think
dying
it's-
costs you like 20 seconds, so...
It depends a little bit on the monkey cycle. I can't remember that right now. I have to stick on these monkeys, on these monkeys' tails,
Yeah.
and wander around. So it depends on them.
So they are monkeys, they are not frogs with sticks.
Who would ever assume that? Are you crazy?
PTO got it.
Just the wall
So-
jump. Dang it.
So normally you would actually...
Oh.
Hey, nice spike jump. So you would actually normally do that jump twice,
Ah,
once to get across and once to get back. But because we now have the consistent wall jump, then we can actually just do it once and it'll be fine. So what's interesting now is that Ludwig is actually catching up to BTO. You're like a few seconds apart, guys.
Trying to make me
That's
nervous.
very
Is that what's going on here?
Yes, it is.
Here comes the snapshot craziness.
I understand.
I am still expecting a world record today, by the way. Fun fact, we had like a practice run yesterday, and PTO got world record for this category. It's still unofficial, because it hasn't been approved or anything. But he beat the world record by 5 seconds, after being 1 minute behind. So I don't know how you do this, but you did it, so good on you.
Thanks.
Best snapshot cycle ever.
Yeah, that was really good. And the frogs that you see are interesting too, because they are very slippery and easy to just fall off instead of jumping off of them. So you have to be a bit careful with those.
They can
They can
also
also
smack you out of bounds if you don't care.
Yeah, they can clip you out of walls and stuff.
Ah.
I got sniped by the RNG.
Hey, got sniped. So these mushrooms, guys, basically you can't move around, you can't do tricks, you can't get the jump heights. And also the
What is
animation
this true
time
occasion
wastes
here?
a few seconds.
Nah.
Yeah, this is nuts. You are like 10 seconds away from each other. This is really cool. And now, of course, jungle is over. I would say we did well. Is that correct? But now comes desert, and desert is even worse.
Oh, desert.
Yeah, desert is pretty okay in any percent or in all stages that we call it, but in all items it's horrendously difficult to not die there.
There are a couple of stages here with really, really tough strats, and we also have this trick we like to do, which is called IFG. I'll explain more as we get closer to it. It's not good.
Yeah, this is one for the crowds.
Yeah. I was 0 for 1 in practice, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry. If you don't get it in practice, everything is going to be fine.
It's pretty consistent now. It's more consistent than other stages in desert, for sure. At least in all items it is.
Yeah, I think it also has to do a lot with, you know, just like the psychology of it, because if you are super stressed going into it, it's very easy to mess it up. You get impatient and then everything is ruined. So now we actually have the hammer to break blocks for us, and that lets us do a few interesting things here and there. Because this super hammer, as it's called, is way more powerful. And the broken blocks there are like the most broken item in the game.
This hammer also respawns, other than the hammers we've seen previously.
Yeah. Yeah, the hitbox for that hammer is really stupid. It's like if you go into certain stages like 8-5, which we'll see later on, sometimes it's hard to pick up the hammer again.
So this is the first very stupid stage here, 5-2, because at least how I do it. Oh,
yeah, you can clearly see that there are different strats for this stage. You will see that
I missed the hammer, dude. Okay, that was my fault.
So you can tell Ludwig is actually doing the strat a little bit differently than PTO is.
Okay, I was afraid here. The hammer up.
Oh,
Really, all these first 5-2 through 5-4 are nerve-wracking.
There's someone in chat saying this game used to piss me off as a kid. I was like, well, this is like every day for us now.
How do we do this to ourselves? We don't know.
Why do we do this to ourselves? That's a good question.
It could also be a reason to speedrun it, just to like give it to the game.
Yeah. And also, you get very salty when you run this, because this is a game that is very easy to mess up. But it's very fun
That's my
to
first
play.
death.
You died?
It's your first
Hey, you
death?
got the skull.
Oh my god.
Congratulations.
Again?
There are some enemies here with really interesting boxes, such as the skull.
Can the skull please move right for one?
Oh my god.
That would be. I would appreciate it very much right now. No, still left. That's cool. Okay.
Oh my god.
This time at least I made it. Like 3 times in a row. What's going on right now?
PTO basically did this strat perfectly, and then instead of jumping into the brick, he jumped into the spikes. And that just sums up DK94 speedruns.
I was so happy to so sad so quickly.
In spikes in
about
like that
also
4?
sums up
Or?
this game
Yeah.
very well. But now we are actually coming to a very big thing here, which is called IFG, or Infinite Falling Glitch. Basically, if you jump into a vertical tile, or a vertical space that's 1 tile high, then Mario will just proceed to fall as if he is in an endless fall. And once you start falling in like further than you're really supposed to, you start overflowing values, and that lets us execute some instructions that we are not supposed to be executing. And this is like our favorite category, like who can make the biggest, most terrible glitch with IFG. But if done well, it'll save us a good, I think, 15 seconds in all stages, not sure in all items. We will see PTO do it here, or at least try to do it. And you can't always tell if you got it, so it might look like you're gonna get it, and then you get to the next cutscene like 2 minutes later, and the game resets because you failed. All to save those precious seconds.
Yeah, and just to tease you, the game resets just before you can save.
Yeah. It's like you're
So
gonna
you have to
save 5 seconds.
replay all
No,
of the
you're not.
over again.
So PTO is coming up on the turn now. So he's not even going for the key. Jumps into the wall.
Let's go.
Tumbles. Hey, okay, that looks good. So what happened there is that we somehow told the game, okay, I've actually now finished the stage. So you can just like
Okay,
show the
monkey
scoreboard and
skipped.
take me to the next stage.
Monkey skipped for me, but should be fine.
It's good for you. Oh,
That shouldn't make any difference.
Should be fine.
it doesn't make any difference, I don't think. Truth is, we have no idea.
Yeah. I think the only thing that could make a difference is if he does the double
Double.
Yeah.
lever pull cycle. Then he could be actually on the screen when the glitch happens, and I think that could be bad.
That's like my favorite thing to say about this game is I don't know. I have no idea what this game is.
I'm not
it's very
quite sure.
Let's see. So we will tell in the cutscene after the boss in 5-8 if the guys got IFG. I don't know why we're doing this trick, but we are doing this trick.
Definitely marathon safe strat. Should
Yeah.
be fine.
Should be fine, no problem. It's just like arbitrary code execution, like no.
Yeah, he actually should be cool for me. I would be very surprised if I get the reset here.
Don't say that out loud.
Don't you?
Okay, PTO got it.
I can't hold it, man. I'm just a realistic person.
So PTO got the glitch. If the lives start counting up and the timer starts counting down, it means you got it. Otherwise, the game will reset there. So we'll see now if Ludwig actually got it. Hold your breath. Hey, you got it. Awesome. Perfect.
Messing up pyramid jump is the worst.
Oh, you really messed it up too. There is a very time-intensive trick that PTO is now trying to do, which is called pyramid jump. So you bounce up the key, then go to the switch and climb down the ladder. And you have, I think it's 8 frames that you have to actually get it. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not entirely sure about the numbers anymore, but I think it's something like 8 frames of leniency that you have there. So you have to be very, very precise.
So
And PTO even got the bad bonus.
that's the Wheel of Fortune. This one.
And now comes the worst stage probably, which is 5-10.
Oh yeah, this is easily the worst.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep.
5-10 is very easy in all stages, very tough. Oh, it's not looking good.
Second try is always fine, right?
Oh, that's pretty close.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can make it. That's not good.
That's fine.
Yeah, so you can
I'll make it.
tell it's a very tough.
I just do it casually now.
I'll take it. Better than picking up the
That was
key
not very
and then
good.
walking in the door.
So you can tell with all these items running are very tough to actually get everything in like one go, as the runners are now trying to do. So this is a very tough stage because everything has to be just right. Has to be just so, otherwise you might actually like grabbing the key and being too close to the door, and then you have to reset. Or you might fall to your death. That's a very
Yeah,
common too.
I threw the key way too early there.
Yeah, it looked really far over to the left, for sure.
Could have been worse though.
This game always can be worse. That's no
Definitely.
problem.
Oh,
nice.
creature.
PTO is like a trick master of this game. It's like there is nothing he cannot do with those hand skills. That sounded really dirty, but it's not really. So he'll do a lot of really cool backflips and grabs in midair and stuff. And here comes what we used to call box lottery, which is the boss. Just 5-12. If you grab any one of those enemies before they start moving, they actually don't have a hitbox, so you can't actually throw them on DK, and then they just walk around. And for the longest time I had no idea what that was about, until one of the other runners said, well, if they start moving, it'll always be good. And that's it for you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
Yeah.
But if you like good jumping tricks, then Airplane is coming up next, and Airplane has a lot of swag.
It has these swag.
It has the swag. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, which is 6-8. And this also introduces the concept of wind, and wind is terrible.
Yeah.
As you would assume. It messes up a lot of the physics in the game, and you can't do tricks you would normally do.
Yeah, to answer that question in the chat, there are 77 stages that are not boss stages, so 77 multiplied by 6 seconds per minigame, this is how much time you need just for the slot machines.
Quick math.
So you can calculate that out.
Wow, you really have that covered, don't you? I'm impressed.
I saw the question, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I also saw it, and I was like, I don't know if I know the answer to this, so I won't hazard a guess.
Too much be the answer.
So sorry, I really am in chicken mode right now. I just cannot go for the crazy strats anymore here. I don't want to die to this.
It's a marathon safety mode.
Everybody, chicken in chat, please.
But you can definitely see that the strats in Airplane are mostly just like doing good jumps, well-timed jumps on elevators and crushers and stuff like that. So there are really no like major glitches that we have to show off here. It's all about good gameplay now.
I know, I'm gonna do two wall jumps in 6-7.
Oh right, you do that thing. That's
7.7 minutes. Now we know, guys.
7.7 minutes. Wow, that is a lot of time.
Didn't mess up 6-4. I'll take it.
But here's a good one for you. How many items do you have to collect in a run like this? I was meaning to count, but I forgot. Yeah, don't think about it too much. You'll just mess up your run. But there's a lot. A lot of hats, a lot of parasols. Like if you basically just catch up to Donkey Kong and save all, you have like 200 hats and parasols and verses.
Wow, I didn't deserve that to work, but okay. I was so early there. Holy crap.
So very soon we will see 6-7, which is often dubbed as the run killer stage of Airplane, because there's a lot of things that you technically could do wrong. We have very safe strats for it now, but traditionally 6-7 is very tough.
Yeah, I think 6-7 is the stage where the strats that PTO use will majorly differ.
Yeah. Also, shoutouts to 17, by the way, in chat right now for actually finding good, safe, solid strat for that stage.
Safe?
Okay, well, we do it. You don't, but that's on you, not us.
I don't even like a civil strat. I mess up too. I mess it up just as much. Just 6-7 in general is just nerve-wracking.
see, Major Domo asks, what causes the animation of Mario coming back to the key door to close it again? That's the timer. If the timer is higher than 50, he will close the door, I believe, and if it's lower than 150, he will not.
A classic question. He didn't know.
Yeah.
But Ludwig
And
did.
then all of a sudden Ludwig knew, and I was like, how long have you information without telling me? That's not very nice of him.
Well, I didn't know that thing about the bonus stages, that the slot machines are always odd. I didn't get that.
So basically, we don't know. That's what we're saying. Ooh, that's so
Also,
close, PTO.
That was,
I also remember that Now Sprite got really mad at me when I told
I did.
when when I started speedrunning this game, and the first trick I really mastered was like pyramid jump, and I
I'm
couldn't
sorry to
even do
interrupt-
like
I'm
a
sorry to
5
interrupt you.
backflip.
But there is in 6-8, which PTO is coming up on now, you have to get swag jump. He did, okay. So Mario begins in midair in 6-8, and if you don't get the jump in the air, you don't get swag jump and your run doesn't count. It's like a gentlemanly thing to do.
Also shoutouts to Sybil!
just so everyone knows, I golded there by 5 seconds. And that's not a bad run. I think I'm 20 seconds behind.
I have to ask PTO, are you hyped for Iceberg?
No.
You're not hyped for Iceberg. Okay. What about you, Ludwig? Because we're coming up on Iceberg now, and Iceberg is...
I just completely invalidated my run by not getting swag jump, by the way, sorry.
Whoa. Well, that's it. PTO wins.
Easy wins.
No swag jump. Terrible. But Iceberg traditionally is one of the toughest parts of the game.
So,
and,
yeah, Iceberg, for the most part, Iceberg is actually okay for me. No, but it doesn't really matter if it's like all stages or all items. Iceberg is, for the most part, it's fine. Like the only stage I really don't like is 7-2 because it's a little bit uncontrollable when to get the wall jump, but...
Yeah, that is true. So if you tune in earlier and listen to me talk about the consistent wall jumping strat that we had, that does not work on ice. And Iceberg has a lot of, well, ice. So it's not going to work the same, unfortunately. And that also gives us a nice chance to give shoutouts to Walter, by the way, which you will now soon see on PTO's screen. And Walter is the walrus on top here. There are 6 Walters in the game, and all of them are equally terrible. Walter is terrible because he is basically just like a bag of hitboxes. You stick your hand in and you hope you don't die. No, this is a very huge game slate, Mario. It's 101 stages. We still have a good, I would say, 30 minutes plus of gameplay here.
That was really poor 7-2. And I got the Wheel of Fortune.
Catching up again then.
Lucky you. So let's see how many jumps Ludwig needs to get up to Walter.
4-1.
It was not 1. 3. Very good.
Save the penguins. Animals.
That's alright. 3 I
We're
can
gonna
live
save
with.
the penguins. Whoa! Save the animals. There are 2 penguins in the game, and PTO just let them live.
Should I go for it too then? Let's go for it.
Forget an item.
You guys
Let's
are
go for it
by the way.
one time.
I forgot about the item, but I got that.
No, I'm not going for it. I didn't get the jump off. Good thing I was able to cancel it right in time.
I mean, like, there are 2 penguins. What is the chance of, like, having a good genetically sound, like, what's it called? Like, group of penguins going forward in the future? It's like, that's a lot of inbreeding. And so this is also where the strats diverge a little bit. What you saw PTO do here is called phaser clip. And if you are on top of a crusher, you can jump as you enter the hitbox of the crusher. and then that just ejects you up. And Ludwig, what's he gonna do? Oh,
I'm
he's
doing
gonna
the
do
same thing here.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
I can't do your strat for this because the cycles are not
Cycles are
lined up for this.
Oh, the cycles aren't the same, of course. That's
It's only
right.
it's only in all stages where we could do the null sprite strat here.
quite special.
That's a tongue twister now. Null sprite strat.
And by the way, guys, if you hear someone ever say null sprite strat, it means slower but safer in like 100% of the cases.
That's actually not true.
In
Coming up in
7-7.
7-7, you will see.
But are you doing icicle jump though?
No, I'm not doing this.
No.
Saving that 4 precious seconds.
There is a like a frame and pixel perfect trick you can do here, which is called icicle jump. So you can do a handspring jump off the first icicle on the stage, and that saves a good deal of time.
Well, it actually only saves 4 seconds in all items. It saves like 12 or so in all stages.
I think
even-
it comes closer
even
to
more.
15.
Even
A lot of
15, yeah. It's a little bit more than that. But it only saves 4 in all items, so it's not worth going for it, to be honest.
So now 7-6 is my pick. I'm just gonna say that. So we're
Yeah, this is
I
also majorly different in strats. Just watch PO doing it. Just craziness.
PTO definitely does not go the safe routes as far as this strat is concerned.
PDO, aka the Swag Master.
I was really scared for that level. Luckily, it went well.
Yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah. Could feel the nerves on that one.
I didn't get this.
7-6 is terrible.
I need to get this first try to work. So now I get the 169, I think. Oh no, not even that. 167. This try is heavily dependent on you getting the wall kick there in the first try. Otherwise you won't
There
make
it
the
is.
cycle.
The null sprite. 7-7
Oh,
null
I
sprite.
completely forgot. I was like so holding my breath there. Okay, so there is a new strategy you can do in 7-7. I found it, and I have no idea why or how, but I found it. So what Ludwig does here is he goes for the double tumble, and then places the key near the door. And basically what you do is you end up doing some things that we don't know why this works, you will see. But what you end up doing is, if you grab the key and go by the door, as there is a ladder in front of it, then that finishes the stage.
Also shoutouts to Not Sprite for this beautiful strat here.
Dude, I thought we agreed you wouldn't say my name like that on the stream bed.
Hey, he didn't yell it, so I think it's pretty good.
I would never agree to something like that. No, you must have,
Terrible.
you must be wrong.
So, anyhow. This is 7-9 is the Wolf Factory. There are 3 of them on the stage. All of them are equally terrible. 2 of them will kiss.
Safe strat.
Safe strats. Well, that's terrible.
No, so that's an old strat in 7-7. That's not mine.
You know, the stupid ladder, who knows why this is being strat, that's mine. Only the stupid strats come out of Norway.
Like the only major improvement I did was on the level 8-16.
Yeah,
It takes a little bit of more time.
That is insane. You are going to do that, right?
Yes, I'm definitely going for it.
That's good, you better.
I also go for 8-14, just for the swags.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow! I just slipped off this elevator. It's also like ice physics elevator here.
Yeah, you clip through it. The elevators in this game are really clearly programmed. And basically, if you have anything pushing you through it, you will just not get the elevator. And then you have to wait for the next one.
Yeah, that elevator makes no. I don't know why.
No, there are some, you saw PTO do it earlier in the search, where he just basically walked right through it. And you will see the same thing again. a little bit later on. And now 7-11, which is, I think, if you played this when you were kids and you played 7-11, you have nightmares about that stage. 7-11 is...
I'll take it. Wasn't perfect. Got there.
It's also like, the door is in midair, you can't see where it is, you sort of have to guess a lot of the time. As the speedrunners know, just push down twice and you're ready to go.
Missed it. Damn it.
Well, I saw the strat you were doing.
Okay,
That's
second
cool.
try. Second try. It's okay.
Oh! Don't scare me like that, Ludwig. That looked really close. That fireball in 7-11.
Hey, it's all planned out. No worries.
Oh,
okay,
that's
well,
bad.
that's the first time I ever heard you say that, but that's fine. Nothing in this game is planned out. That's a policy.
Alright, I'll just die on this boss stage. It's fine.
Hey, that means we are almost even again.
This is fine.
Like the funniest part of that was that when you said that, you hadn't actually died in the barrel. It's a very, very good comedic moment. So Iceberg is almost over, and that leaves us with what I think most people remember as the toughest part of the game, which is Rocky Valley. Rocky Valley is also really long. It's got 16 stages, and all of them are really tough. Well, most of them anyhow. Some of them aren't that bad, but others are extremely tough. And there's a lot of
Believe it or
glitches.
not, Rocky Valley is by far my most beloved part of the game now.
Gross.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. But that's
Also because of
fine.
the RNG strats that you can go for.
Yeah, we have a little bit of a disagreement on what RNG is best, first or last. And PTO did last. Interesting.
Yeah, I switched to Ludwig strats.
Cool.
Well, not exactly, just to last seed. You do it a little differently still. I do it so that I could. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, what was the deal with that fish? PTO. Did you kill it or?
Did I? No, he's fine.
No, okay, well it did something. Anyhow, one thing I think that's fun to mention is, like, if you think about it, it's really strange that this game hasn't picked up more traction, because first of all, it's like a very, very major Mario game. It was produced by Shigeru Miyamoto. It was released as like the flagship game almost for SGB, and it's got a lot of really, really fun stages. It's clear that they spent a lot of time on this game. And one thing the developers did is they spent a lot of time on death animations.
Okay, this
I
is
think you have
boxes.
like 12 or 13 different ways to die here.
Oh man, that was...
No idea where I was off here. But apparently I was.
You were off. Oh, the seed, of course. Yeah, that can happen.
No, it was my death there on the projectile.
Yeah.
I was a little bit too early on the jump, I guess. So that will break my RNG minute for the rest of Valley, sadly. Because if you die, the RNG takes forward 3 more time.
Yeah. And RNG here is very, very, very necessary to actually have good control over, because 8-4, which we're about to come up on PTO's side, you can easily get a 181, you can get a 153, you can get so many different things for this stage. You can easily save 20 or waste 30 seconds here.
The
Like
worst I've ever encountered in my search for good RNG is 151, which you couldn't do anything to speed it up.
Yeah.
I got
Like if you
my
get
oranges
that
red.
seed, you can just take a whole bunch of coffee. I don't know.
Take a break.
Wow, that was
Like
really good
150.
RNG.
I did my RNG strat right.
Yeah, that looks really good. 179 is first off. We'll see how Ludwig does. He just
Yeah, that doesn't even look that bad. I think this is the second best RNG if he pulls it again. Yes, okay.
Got
That's
the
good.
same one.
I can
On the
live with
same.
that.
Yeah, we have to be on the same.
Yeah. It's interesting how this game, this race actually, is still very close. Because you are almost on the same stage now.
Besides that first mess up at the beginning of this game, no major mistakes. Like, some deaths.
If you look on PTO's screen too, you can see this is tougher stages with one of the tougher strats, where you actually do a double tumble glitch by re-grabbing the hammer.
Yeah, 8-5 is now.
Right, I'll take it. I lived, I'll take it.
As long as you live, that's all you need.
8-5 is a very
puts-
difficult stage.
So that puts a little bit of pressure.
You can do a little lick, it's fine. The worst thing about 8-5 is like all like Sonic's cousins or whatever they are. It's also very easy to mess up the climb with the hammer.
The spider almost got a heart attack there. It worked.
Did you get the item on top, Ludwig?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Don't scare him
like
like
you
that.
did.
Thanks for another heart attack, but yes,
Yeah, no problem. I gotta go there.
Yes, keep me pressured.
Did you get that
It's
item
okay,
on
they're
9?
fine.
Did you
There
get
was
that item
another
on 9-3?
instance there of the elevator glitch where PTO just wrote the key down and then you flip through it and everything is fine.
Oh, I'll just die there, I guess.
Like, there's a funny story actually. When I completed my first real run of this category, like with a 125, I actually submitted it, and then I had a little chat with PDO, like, and he was like, I just watched this. Did you miss that item on 9-3? I was like, 9-3? There are no items on word 9. And then I looked it up. That's actually the only boss stage, apart from the construction side ones, that contain an item. That is not even you don't even see it if you go through it casually.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, just like that, Ludwig is now ahead.
Ugh, yeah, that was a terrible
Oh,
death.
also I can do the monkey strats here.
Oh yeah, do the monkey strat. That's awesome. So shout out to our good friend of the community.
No, okay.
Okay.
Never mind. I let him out of the cage. That counts.
You let him out of the cage. So shout out to our good friend. I don't know where he's at these days. But he asked me one stream what happens if you put the platform under the monkey, and I was like so adamant, like, well, you can't do that. And he was like, why the hell not? And it turns out, well, you let the monkey out of the cage if you do. So that's a fun little thing.
Come on, monkey. Thank you.
So now it's actually really, really close here, guys, because Ludwig died. PTO is still a little bit behind, so this is getting very, very
So
close.
can I do boulder hop here? Let's see.
Oh, boulder hop. Why would you?
Why would I?
Yeah,
No,
why
I'm not doing it, sorry.
Good.
Oh, I couldn't have made it because that boulder just went off screen. Good thing I didn't.
Basically, this entire game is like, oh, I could save 0.9 seconds if I do
my
this.
god.
Perfect
Boulder.
strat.
This boulder RNG though.
Oh,
What is
look
this?
at that boulder RNG. Terrible.
170. Oh, that's awful.
170.
Yeah.
You're actually like head to head right now. This is incredible. So basically, like,
Hey,
it's
we
like
have a race. High
less than a
five.
second on my stream right now. That's That's very interesting.
So 8-9 now is also a stage which is heavily RNG dependent, but only on all items, because we really need that monkey to immediately throw one of those mushrooms. If you
Yeah.
don't, we have to wait for him to throw it, because we really need the items beforehand that are like way under these platforms there. We can only reach it with small Mario. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, me too.
All this time that we've been hating on the mushrooms, and now you need them. That's
Yeah, there are only 2 mushrooms that we really need. One here and one in 9-3.
Oh yeah, you need the mushroom in 9-3 for the oops, that's true.
Okay, that was actually a really nice stage.
So Ludwig
For
is
a
doing
change.
the face plant strat here,
Yeah.
where if you backflip, grab the key, and then just drop down and smack your face into the...
This is not a cheat, guys. This is intended by the game's faulty mechanics, I guess.
Exactly.
Another Wheel
So
of
this
Fortune.
thread that I'm doing here, I came up with
Oh,
this.
no.
Let's see if I can make it. This actually only uses this one spring here.
Yeah, it's a good spread.
You got the roulette wheel video.
I know. I was
Okay, got
afraid.
it.
I just
I was
wanted
gonna
to
get.
let you know.
I was just about to get.
Oh, very nice, Ludwig.
I was gonna get drunk, so I decided to take the 6 seconds.
So 8-11. Yeah, you can explain how this works, like this thread here.
8-11. It's been long. I'll have to look at it and then I can explain it. But basically, what 8-11 is just you have to.
I didn't get it.
Wow, I get it. Well, let's see if PTO gets.
I didn't even get close.
Okay, I do the backup straight right now.
Oh.
I need to, my
So
guy
what
has
you
a
can do
different
there
problem.
is, if you are super precise with your jumps,
It should,
you can actually make that elevator and then just jump up, and that saves build time and also is faster. And build time is the most important one here.
Okay. Oh no! I forgot the umbrella.
I don't!
Oh, no!
I almost forgot it too. I just wanted to.
Well, okay.
Oh
yes,
my
PTO
god.
is going to play this for us again. That's very nice of him.
Oh my god, I
um,
missed that.
If you forget the umbrella, you have to start over. Wow.
But hey, you can still catch up on 8-14, no problem.
I got this. I got the wall jump and everything.
Wow. Okay.
Get to redo my favorite levels
Yeah.
anyways.
For 8-11, I try to go for a visual cue now, but I think I jumped too soon on the double jump.
Yeah, it looked way too soon. PTO forgot the umbrella though, so this is going to be like, well, you're gonna have to mess up a little bit, I think. Yeah, Ludwig.
So as you can see, I just reset there. That might be a little bit random, but I'm setting up a trick coming up in 8 in the boss stage here, and you will love this. I'm not gonna spoil what happens, but
Yeah.
at least I hope it happens. It can also.
It can also just not happen for no reason.
Yeah. It's very timer dependent though, so if you... I'm going to try and explain this a little bit as we get closer to it though.
I think this is also the correct me if I'm wrong, Noel, but I think this is also the strat that caused the category name to change, right? Like before there was no major glitches, but actually this was a real major glitch.
Yes, that is correct. That and IFG actually. Those were the two where we decided,
Yeah.
you know, we wanted to, you know, expand the category a little bit.
So let's
decided
hope this
to-
this jump now works. No, not first try. Damn it. This is like a super precise jump I have to make here.
So Ludwig's on 8-14. And 8-14 is
That sounds interesting.
insanely tough.
Okay,
No
guys.
matter which category you're
I got 8-11.
Okay, third try, that
Nice.
should still make.
Yeah, Ludwig can get stuck on this until PTO catches up. No problem.
Didn't get the one up as usual.
That looked a little
Okay,
bit
thank you. I'm just waiting for these things now. These have the worst possible collision detection that you can ever imagine.
Yeah, the Lotus Seeds are terrible. And
So-
even though it looks like you're gonna make it, you are not gonna make it
So, flower jump?
yourself.
No. I was scared.
Yeah, not kill that guy.
And if you're looking at PTO's screen here right now, this is the only cutscene that lies to you. It tells you can walk on lava, but what happens is you catch fire. The game lies.
Unless you're Taz. Taz can walk on
It's a big
lava.
stinking lie.
So 8-15, let's see if we can walk on lava.
do we have to?
Only if we
No,
have to.
I really... Of course, every time. This spike is so well programmed, guys.
Yeah, it's got hitboxes
But
coming out
Nintendo,
towards you.
that's your seal of quality doesn't mean anything anymore. Okay, 2 deaths, you can catch up now. I can't get this to work right now.
So, interestingly enough, this is pretty much a very good representation of what this game is all about. It's about
What?
messing up until
What
it
is this, dude? Come on!
Deep breath now. So the spikes, as you can see, they have hitboxes that extend the spike itself by quite a bit. And that makes it really tough to try and get around them when they are not protected. Because in all other cases, the spikes have solid blocks on both sides. But in Dash 15 they don't. So you just have to be very, very careful.
Sorry for that voice I just made.
It was a good voice. It was a good voice. I can definitely see that as some sort of Cartoon Network thing. That's good.
Okay, let's see if this still works. I have no idea after all these tests and stuff.
Don't do it.
You can do, okay,
I'm
so
just
Ludwig is
doing
now
it.
going to attempt the glitch he was speaking of earlier. And then we'll see if it works.
Actually, I don't know what you do.
Yes!
It worked. Okay, good.
Okay, I think it did. I can't see yet. Okay, it worked. So, what we think is going on here is that once you beat the boss, Mario is transported to a set of pixels that is actually way far off the playing area. And so, what happens there is, by jumping up like that, he actually goes out of bounds and wraps around and goes to the bottom. And somehow he's able to hit that little set of pixels. And the stage just ends. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, we have no idea why it actually works here and not in other stages. So you can also go out of bounds in other boss stages, but it doesn't just straight up doesn't work there.
Yeah.
So we have
Oh,
only
we've tried that.
assumptions. That is maybe because of the wind in the boss level or whatever.
So Ludwig is in Tower now, and Tower is the final stretch of the game. And there is only one item that he has to get here, and that is in 9-3. So please don't forget that, Ludwig.
Please don't.
I'm preparing my mind right now. Thank you.
Other than that, this is just going to be very much like you would see in all stages. With the same strats, the same RNG setup, and everything. And so now we only have 8 or 7 stages left on Ludwig's side. And then you get to hear the best boss music in all of Game Boy. So, yeah. And then you also, of course, see here that the ladders themselves are moving here. And a problem with that is that this is not actually RNG controlled, it's timer controlled. So because those are timer controlled, it makes it really, really tough to predict what they're gonna do. Because you have to be very precise.
Okay, I got good ladder cycle, but the good ladder cycle only saves 2 seconds in all items, while it saves 10 seconds in all stages.
Yeah. That was good though. 170 is very good.
So upcoming, everybody loves DK Junior, right? So we
Yeah.
give him a little bit of playground here.
Finally.
Let's make him a home. You get a 187. See?
Yeah, barely.
Yeah.
Barely.
Very nice.
I think it's a 187.00001 or something.
Oh, I'm not paying attention. Damn it.
So we just locked up DK Junior, and now we have the final 5 stages
So,
going on Ludwig's
yeah.
side.
Recently, I have discovered like a way to manipulate RNG here to get the perfect possible boss fight. It's very, very, very tough to get. Also have to reset after the stage here to get.
Yeah.
So I'm just going for it and try to get.
Actually, resetting there is very common, and the reason for that is that it's very easy to get bad RNG on one specific stage, and that can cost you easily like 40 seconds if you're not lucky. PTO is really messing up these mushroom things.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, I just did.
Oh, damn it. I
Oh,
think I'm
come
too late
on.
now, yeah, I'm too late now.
DK Junior is just trolling me.
Well, we call him a RNG monkey for a reason.
Okay, luckily he didn't pull the lever, which makes me still get through there, but the RNG is now ruined, I guess, because the RNG jumps like crazy in this stage.
Yeah. But that's actually one part that's really scary is in 9-6 there, because if he closes the door and then doesn't open it again, you can stand around for like 40 seconds and, well, things happen.
Yeah, the worst I've ever seen is that he didn't pull the lever 5 times in a row.
Yeah. If you remember, Spark City, one of the former runners of the game, actually lost world record one time because of that. Because he got stuck, he couldn't get in, and then all of a sudden the run was gone.
That
Also,
was
big
rough.
shout out to PDO here for beautiful boss strat, which saves around 3 to 4 seconds
That's a good strat.
over the old one.
Hey, Ludwig beat the monkey! Congrats! You did it!
Whoa.
You got!
I'm really looking forward to that
And
stage.
some love is going on by just staring at each other.
Yeah, they just stand around. I don't know what that is. And there you can see, because there are these like minor little things that if you die somewhere or
Wait, what is
Item
this?
was
Why is there an additional stage here? What?
there is one more stage.
One more
Okay,
stage?
what? You
Who would have
tricked me.
guessed? And so we're coming up on the final boss on Ludwig's side, and what he's going to try to do is to get as many barrels as he possibly can, so that he will always have one available.
Yeah, I was suspecting it was right, but I didn't trust myself.
As you can tell, DK looks kind of big, kind of mad. His hands looks like they have rubber gloves on them. I'm not sure what that's about. Oh,
I'm on a bad cycle right now. Unfortunate.
that's a very good dodge, by the way, Ludwig.
I think you could fail like twice.
Okay, I skipped the hands. Okay, here actually for this cycle I don't need both barrels, because this is like the intersection
Yeah.
of the boss fight. Yeah, intersection, intermission, or whatever.
So here the strat is basically
I'm
stand on
just
the
not
left,
good at English, sorry.
stand on the left side and mash like hell. That's the
Ah.
strat for this part.
Okay, now I'll try to catch the final barrel. Okay, there it is. And time.
GG.
GG. Awesome run, dude.
My incredible falling apart at the end of the game here.
I think you caught up really well, though, considering you had to play 3 stages over again.
I did well on the last 4 stages, but then it all fell apart in tower.
Did you
It
also
all
just
falls
finish,
apart, so-
or?
No, I had the boss stage, the final boss left.
Okay. You
And so we
you
get
caught
to
up
see the
pretty
final
well.
cutscene here on Ludwig's screen, where Mario all of a sudden gets sick again, and it's raining monkeys. And one thing that always amuses me is like if you look at Donkey Kong's butt, someone was paid to draw that butt. That always amuses me. That was really good, Ludwig.
Yeah.
122.14.
Yeah.
Get
Good
it?
luck for the final boss fight.
You can do it, Vito. There is, you can technically beat this game in about 5 minutes if you do a glitch in the final boss stage. It's just so happens that none of us have ever gotten it.
It's really possible.
Yeah, it's not something you really should attempt, I don't think. Oh, good dodge.
Missed the chance for the double, but I'll take it.
I have to say, I'm liking the color scheme of yours because DK almost looks normal.
Yeah, and on my side, they all look sunburned.
Yeah, they look sunburned. It's like neon pink.
But it's just the romantic sunset story then. Like this picture here.
Yeah, I'm liking this
Ah.
picture because, first of all, you can tell, like it's Pauline, first of all. She's completely useless. Yeah, by the way, she's in here, we think.
GG, Ludwig.
Hey, GG. Very nicely
GG,
done.
my friend. That was actually pretty cool. It went back and forth.
Yeah. I fell apart
Yeah,
after
that
8-9
was,
there, but
Better than yesterday, like where I was 12 minutes behind.
yeah, that's Donkey Kong though.
Yeah, that's Donkey Kong for you. That was a
Just
really
kinda
close
happen, I
race,
guess.
but really good race, guys. That was awesome.
Yeah, and thanks for
Yeah,
commentating.
thanks for staying, everybody. Thanks for the GGs. And big big thanks to Null Sprite for making this awesome commentary for us.
Aw,
Without his
yeah.
commentary, we wouldn't have been able to pull this off, I guess, because like talking and running this game at the same time is
It's
something.
very intense,
Yeah.
especially when English isn't your native tongue. You'd spend like 50% of your brain power actually speaking English and then the rest on the game. And also thank you very much for having me on commentary, and thank you all for watching. And I believe that does it for the race, unless you have something to add.